don't know the power of sci-fi radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
All right, it's another Thursday night, which means Talking Bay 94. We're on sci-fi.radio, sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. You can tune in anywhere in the world by going to that URL. You could be watching us on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. Any of those are cool too. And you're here, we're here, people are here for the next 2 hours. I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
Yep. It's just a Donoho.
I'm Colleen Crosby.
And thanks for tuning in. Let's see here. Make sure I got everybody up and going. How's everybody's week?
Busy.
Yeah, some stuff happened.
Very, very busy, and very hot.
Very hot?
Yeah, it's been toasty.
Oh.
Yeah, that's been the biggest problem is the heat. It was very humid yesterday, which was like not cool.
Huh.
Weird.
Pardon me.
Do we have video? Oh, no, there it is.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we're going. It just took a minute to catch up.
Coming up on Facebook.
No worries.
All right. Gosh, we're awfully quiet tonight.
I know. I think everybody's worn out.
Yeah. Hello to Craig Miller.
Hey, hi, Craig.
Oh, cool.
I have been, I've been watching the conventions. So.
The Democratic National Convention.
Yes.
As opposed to watching video of LostCon or something.
Right.
I just felt we needed to clarify.
That is a good clarification.
It's
Talon Thorne and Delayed Yay 1066 are here with us on Twitch.
Yay!
And Lori just popped in on Facebook.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Sweet.
the interesting thing about... I watched some of the Republican National Convention just because I want to see what's up. And I don't know, it was weird, and it was... it was not a very happy kind of convention. They're like, this must happen.
Can I interrupt you for a second,
Yeah.
Sean? Could you please turn down what's coming into my headphones because I can't leave them in because it's too loud.
Oh, I don't know why your headphones are so much louder than everyone else's.
Maybe I'm just sensitive.
That's really weird. But maybe
Thank
they're
you.
crappy headphones.
Maybe.
Are they airplane headphones?
No.
From the airplane? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the RNC was very just like, I don't know, more militant it seemed. And the DNC convention seems to be more happy.
Oh, it's filled with joy.
So
With joy.
it's kind of interesting to see everybody kind of like, grooving on everybody else. I mean, they still think that they've got a job to do, and that comes across quite well. But there's a lot of music going on. It's very festive.
Greets to Pat.
environment.
Gotcha.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah, it's
I see Pat.
they're ebullient. They're just filled with joy, and for the most part, I mean, there are also some very serious moments and all that.
Yeah, sure.
I've never watched a political convention before this. I may have caught like a little scene here and there.
The highlights usually.
Yeah, but I've watched the first 3 days. I'm missing the fourth day right now. But I'm hoping that YouTube will still have it when it's time, when I have time to watch it, which will be on Saturday. Because I'd like to have the whole set
Gotcha.
now.
Right. Well, I don't think they're going to take them down. The previous days are all still there.
Okay, good.
Even though they were done live, you can still go back and view them. And in fact, when I came back the other night, I just took the live stream and rolled it all the way back to the beginning to kind of scroll through. And
I was upset the first night because I was trying to watch it, and I'm like, it all starts at the, what they're doing right now. I want to see the beginning. And Sean's like, hit rewind.
right.
Hi to Alan.
I owe Alan a phone
And
call. I
Mr.
think.
Matt Tillard is watching too. He just hasn't commented.
Hey, Matt.
Well,
Yeah,
hey there, Matt.
that's because he's our outlier over on YouTube.
There he is. Yep.
Yeah.
YouTube.
So I owe Alan a phone call, and this is actually something that kind of involves all of us, and we could certainly talk about it offline, but I'll pitch it here while we're all here. Is that he's got an event coming up at the library where they wanted some Ghostbusters.
Upland?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
Thursday night, and they're having a special guest and things like that. And I'm like, well, maybe we should go. We should be Ghostbusters, and we should do the show from there. So
Yeah.
we're thinking about it,
Yeah.
and
I don't think I could get there.
I mean, we could. Yeah, we could.
But you guys could do it. Give me a day off.
Also suggest it to the OC guys if they want to go up.
yeah, totally.
If anyone's available.
Yeah, at the very least, and it would be kind of fun. But
Just the thought of trying to get out there on a weekday for me, because I have to work.
right is always tough.
I don't think
Oh
I
yeah.
would be able to do it.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Yeah. But I am happy to take a day off. So.
But yeah, I'll get more information from Alan, and we'll talk about it. It sounded like it'd be kind of fun. So
Yeah, when is that?
it's
Sunday
October.
coming up? Oh,
Thursday.
October what?
In October something.
I don't remember.
Alan, put it in the chat.
The date off the top
Alan
of my
will say
head.
it.
Right?
Yeah.
As long as I mean, I don't think it's going to conflict with really anything except the show. To be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Halloween's
If it's the first week in October, it will.
Halloween's coming up, but so that depends. He says October 17th.
October 17th.
So now
Okay.
Colleen will go to the master calendar
I am putting it on the calendar as we speak.
and see, because yeah, it sounds like fun, and we have done a lot of stuff out there too for Alan. We've done like Harry Potter trivia nights and other events like that, and of course we have the big Star Wars events that we've been doing now for something like 17 or 18 years, over several libraries and things like that. So yeah, it sounds kind of fun, and it's with a special guest. I mean, we could set it up so that we can broadcast the guest and us, and it'd be something fun for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
So
Good
we'll check it
idea.
out.
What was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say that I went to, on Saturday, I went to Eternal Mourning, Death and Remembrance in Victorian America.
Yeah, which turned out to be eternal hell for
Yeah.
you.
So
I'm sorry.
you know how you look at how long it takes to get a place, and then it doesn't occur to you that when you're looking, it's like 3 a.m. and there's no traffic. So I left the house where I was like just going to make it to the front door of the museum when the lecture that I was going to, along with this exhibit, just when it was starting.
Okay.
And then I get down there and I can't find parking to save my life. So I go onto their webpage to look what they say about parking, and they say,
Oh,
please plan to arrive 40 minutes early if you want to park a car, because it's hard to find parking here. So I was only 20 minutes late. I was able to find parking, but it took going into 3 parking lots to find it.
Scum and Villainy?
I'm sorry?
Scum and Villainy, right?
No.
No,
This is a
this is-
museum she's trying to go
This
to.
is Museo.
Oh, the museum. Okay, this is something else.
In
Okay.
Anaheim, yeah. Museo in Anaheim, and it's the same parking
Oh.
lots that we use for the Anaheim Fall Festival. And that's the parking lot that we usually park in for the Anaheim Fall Festival, was where I parked. Eventually.
Okay.
But I got into one parking lot that didn't have any spaces. I tried to turn into what looked like a parking lot, but it was private, locked up.
Oh,
The
boy.
second one didn't have any spaces. The third one had this thing where you scan a thing and then put your license plate number on and pay for it online. And I pulled in there, parked in a spot, scanned the thing, started to walk away while I'm typing everything in. And it said there are no spaces available. And I'm like, there are clearly like 30 spaces available. But I didn't want to get a ticket, so I took off, went to the third parking lot where I got space. So I did this whole battle. I get into the museum, I scurry in there, and there's one person at the counter, like in front of me. And the person who has just sold her a ticket wants to tell her in great detail about everything going on in the museum. And I'm like, I already have purchased my ticket. Can you just let me go in? So she finally goes away. She goes through this whole rigmarole. I was like, why did I buy my ticket in advance when I had to do like a whole thing to just get her to say, yes, you can go in. I go in, and the lecture has been going for 20 minutes now. Or at least it's 20 minutes after the time when it was supposed to start. And the entrance where you walk in is right next to where the lecturer is standing. So there's no hope of people not staring at you when you come in late. But I'm like, okay, I go to the back of the room and I sit down, and then the lecturer starts talking about she says, maybe I should show you some examples. And she's got this clothing rack, Victorian clothing, and she pulls a piece off and holds it up in front of the front row at the level of their head, like faces. So basically the front row and maybe the second row can see the garment she's talking about. Everybody else in the room, there's no hope because she's holding it really low. So I got up and moved to kind of like the back row and stood up so that I had it. And there were a bunch of us standing up. Oh, and I couldn't hear the lecturer, but then someone said, I can't hear, and got up and told the girl at the front desk, could you please turn the music down because we can't hear the lecturer. So at this point I'm like, okay, I'm just going to close my eyes and listen, because even standing up I can't really see. I'm all worked up from the drive down here taking longer than I thought, and the parking and everything. I'm just going to like meditate. It'll be great. And then the woman who was talking said some things about the articles of clothing that she had that I was like, I don't quite agree with that. Just from my learning about historical clothing. So then I took a deep breath and I thought to myself, I don't need to be at this lecture. It's okay. I only paid $10 for it. I'm just going to go in. I'll look at the museum exhibit, and that will be enough for me because, can't really hear, can't really see. When I can finally hear, I don't agree with what she's saying. So, and it was only like, it was she was talking about Victorian underwear, and I just had some disagreements about a couple of things. So I was like, okay, I'll just go see this. It'll be fine. So I turn around and kind of sneak out the back of the exhibit. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, since there were a bunch of people standing in order to see, the museum came through and set up more chairs. We were not standing because there weren't chairs. We were standing because we couldn't see.
Because you couldn't see.
So anyway, I turn around and go into the museum exhibit, and it turns out that the museum exhibit was put on by a local, like a Halloween society. And there were only 4 items, items of clothing. There were also some images on the walls. I was interested in the clothing. Are you okay?
Yeah, I pinched my hand between my chair and the desk.
Ow.
Yeah, it hurt.
There were only 4 items of clothing, and the very first one as you walked in was a recreation made out of polyester, and it was obvious that it was a recreation, and I also felt that some of the decorations on it, some of the trim was not appropriate to the gown. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And the other 3 items, there were 2 extent items that were nice. There was I think there were 2 dresses. And then there was a recreation, I think, man's suit with the item that they were displaying, which was a sash. And then
there was nothing impressive in the pictures I saw.
Done looking at the museum, and so I left. Yeah. And drove the hour back home. It was a bust for me.
That was just sad.
Yeah, I've been to other exhibits at museum that weren't bad.
That have been good. Yeah.
But
we like that museum.
I will think twice about going there. Hey to Eric. Hey to Boba.
I want to say hey to
Randy.
Randy, if he's still here. Congratulations are in order to Randy.
Oh, let's hear.
Because so Randy used to work at Disneyland, and he switched teams. He's over at Universal Studios now, and he just got promoted to guest ambassador lead.
What does that mean?
That's pretty cool.
It means, I think, that he gets to go through the park and be like I think it's kind of like a plaid.
Like a tour
but
guide?
He can correct me. But it's not exactly a tour guide, because tour guide means something very different at Universal, because they actually have tours.
Okay.
But like sort of guest services. But again, Randy should correct me, because he knows for sure, and he didn't say on Facebook. But he's looking good over there, which is great, because he was good at Disney and he was good at what he did over there. But you always kind of felt like he was underappreciated over there.
He's very nice.
Yeah, and this looks like he's totally being appreciated by everybody.
What did you say it's called again?
His job is guest ambassador lead.
Guest ambassador lead.
They call it a GA too. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have another friend, Eric, who just started his first day with Halloween Horror Nights, and he's very excited. He's like, "I work at a theme park." Yeah, he's very jazzed. So
that's neat. Yeah, it seems to be about the same thing as a plaid is at Disneyland. So
yeah, that's
great.
as near as I understand it. Yeah. And I think that's a great position for Randy, because he's epic.
He's so friendly.
He says I'm a guest map on feet. So
nice.
That's pretty awesome. But hey, promotions for everybody, man.
Yeah. Jeff, what did your
pretty
Saturday
good.
hold? Anything exciting?
The only thing that I can think of, and there's probably other stuff, but my mind doesn't want to. I don't remember. Is that we went to Old World. It was like sort of
the pretzel festival, right?
Got up that morning, yeah, and went to Pretzel Fest at Old World. Now, when I go to Old World, what I like to do is actually go around and look at the shops and everything, whatever else if there's any sort of if there's like as a festival, like there should be like booths and stuff set up elsewhere, but we just went to go and try some pretzels and have like various beer, I guess. And I know a few people that went to like a day or so afterward that actually didn't have the problem I had, but we got there. And it was about 1.5 to 2 hours. It was somewhere around there that we were standing in line to buy pretzels.
2 hours?
Wow.
Dude.
It was literally like an hour and a half plus. And we finally got up there. We got like stuff in the meantime from other spots there, because the pretzel booth was like, that's what everyone was there for.
Yeah.
But we got like, beer and potato salad and other stuff from other places that didn't have a line. We just had mainly in the main line, and then just someone would wander off and get something else. Oh yeah, looks like my video stalled. It was cool. I think I sent you and Sean like a picture and a video of what the hell was going on there. But very, very long line, very hot and like, sunburny. And of course when we got up there, like the pretzels were mostly like we limited amount of pretzels because I think they make them like every so often, so they're basically out of a lot of stuff. So we're like, oh, we'll just get these.
Oh my gosh! So you waited in line for 2 hours, and then they didn't have everything?
Yeah, they're out of a few.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Chef, we had a very similar day on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
That's,
we
that's
just, like,
awful.
Sean was
had
like,
fun
I
in
stayed
Lineville,
home.
Still.
When?
Did I stay home on Saturday? I think I did.
Well, until we went out in the evening.
Right.
Saturday day, you stayed home.
I do. I went and found your pictures, which are fun. So this is old world, right? Now, I am confusing old world, I think, with a place called Alpine Village, or I could be wrong.
They're very similar.
So,
and
one of them is gone. Like Alpine Village, I think is gone.
And as far as I know,
because I did a wedding there for somebody. I think I've done a couple of weddings, but I don't think I did Old World. I think it was at Alpine Village, and I think Alpine Village is now kaput.
Yeah, but I pulled up a picture of
Huntington
Old
Beach.
World, and I think the wedding was at Old World.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because it's hard to tell because they were almost identical places.
It's a Huntington Beach.
I'd have to look at the
they
church.
Have like Oktoberfest every year and such. I think this weekend is actually the Wiener Dog races, which would be fun to go to.
Wiener Dog races.
Literally,
Yeah, but if you have to
little
stand in
boxes.
line for 2
That's
hours
something
and they're
else.
out of
That's
wiener
something else.
dogs,
That's
that
the
would
other
really piss me off.
Yeah. So,
The Matterhorn.
I think Owen's trying to get his. Yeah, I know. They have a big old mountain thing in the middle of the place. It's
Yeah, you're right, Sean. They
where the
look
beer
identical.
garden is, and that's what that is.
That's funny.
I just pulled up some old pictures of Alpine Village and some of Old World, and they look the same to me.
They're the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very similar. Yeah, but it was a lot of. We had fun still staying in line. It was just too dang long of a wait. And unfortunately, everyone was like, "Yeah, we had to go we had to leave," and I think Sparrow had to work or something. We didn't have very much time and had to go. Or no, Sparrow was getting off of work. It was the volunteering at the library thing. So, I want to go back again. I've been there in a few. I've been there a few times, obviously, but it's fun to go there when they have all the booths set up for whatever event they're doing, so you can actually see other parts of Old World instead of just the beer garden part.
Right.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
So then,
that's pretty much it.
I came home from my eventful morning, and Sean and I went to Scum and Villainy that evening for a birthday party, and I had never been to
Was that
Scum
the
and
same
Villainy.
day?
It was the same day.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And Sean did Old Luke, and I just put on one of my Batu Bounds, and we went and saw lots of friends, and the decor in. So first of all, if anyone doesn't know, Scum and Villainy is what started out as a Star Wars themed pop-up bar and in Hollywood.
Yep.
And it's now a permanent bar that is science fiction themed, but basically they kept the inside, they didn't change anything. They just changed the names of their drinks and their food so that they encompass more science fiction, but it basically looks like
the cantina
Wars.
from Star
Yeah.
Wars. But if you look around a little bit, you can see like, oh, there's a shelf over there with Dobby and a pile of socks. And
Yeah.
when you walk in, and we got carded when we walked in, and I haven't been there since before COVID, I don't think, and I don't remember
Carded?
ever having been carded going in there. But I did. There's a mildly belligerent bouncer at the door, and so got carded, and he was very grumpy about it. But as you walk into the bar proper, there's sort of this lounge outside that's separate. There's L-Cars stuff from Star Trek: The Next Generation on the walls, and if you look closely on it, it's got a list of a whole bunch of different holodeck simulations, and the Star Wars Cantina one is selected on the screen. And so there's they're kind of trying to mix it up, because Lucasfilm said, hey, now that you are no longer a limited pop-up experience, how about you add other fandoms in and stop completely piggybacking on our IP?
So anyway, the food was pretty good for bar food. I ordered the tacos. They were street tacos, and they were chicken street tacos, and they were good. I enjoyed them. And Sean had burger and fries, and I think a Coke. We didn't do any of the specialty beverages. For my part, that was because I don't like the taste of alcohol, so that wipes most of the beverages out for me. They had 3 or 4 choices of specialty beverages for that didn't have alcohol, but nothing sounded exciting enough for me to break my no sugared beverages rule.
Even the mocktails that they had.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I meant by specialty alcohol-free beverages was mocktails. There just wasn't anything that was exciting. So, I passed and just drank some water. Party pooper that I am. Frequent Falcon Flyer says that Hustler's food in Vegas is terrible, but it's free on industrial night. I don't know that I'd want to go to a place called Hustler's. Doesn't sound like my sort of place, so I don't know. I also hate Vegas.
The food's bad, but it's free.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It would take a lot to convince me to visit there again.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. So what else? What else happened this week?
One more thing about Scum and Villainy. We went for our friend David's birthday, and what was funny and not to be unexpected is that I think I knew half of the other people in the bar.
It was pretty funny.
Because I walked in, there were a bunch of like Rebel Legion, and so Sal was there with his 2 kids, and I think Alex was having his 18th birthday, and I haven't seen them in a little while, and I could not recognize the kids because they're so grown up. It was amazing, and it was really
Axel's 18, huh?
yeah, it was really weird. So, and then there were people from like all of the different groups, like Rob Yanagihara was there from the Saber Guild and people like that. And so that whole party celebrating that whole birthday, I knew a lot of people from there too. And so that was kind of weird because it really was like walking into my neighborhood bar and like, oh, I know all these people and these people and these people came with my friend and so it was weird. The only thing that didn't quite happen, but it was close. It was really close.
Lori says she was born in Vegas. Lori, I went to junior high in Vegas, and junior high for a geek is a fun time.
Junior high sucked.
And I don't look back on that with much joy.
Fondness.
Not much fondness. I mean, there were times that were nice, but And I don't like drinking. I don't like gambling.
Oh.
I don't. I'm allergic to cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
So there's very little, and I'm cheap. Let's face it, I'm cheap.
Right.
So, the fancy restaurants that they have there now, I just...
And the big shows.
In the big shows,
Yeah.
I usually am too cheap to shell out for that, so...
I will say that I have had some really good experiences in Las Vegas. Like, I've gone with my car clubs, and like the Del Sol meetup used to be there every year, and that was fun. There was a movie car event that I went to where I had my car on display on Fremont Street, and I got to be the chauffeur of Felix Silla all day. And if you don't know who Felix Silla is, he was an Ewok, but he was also like Twiki from Buck Rogers, and he did all these little people roles. He was Cousin It in the Addams Family, the original Addams Family. And so it was just he and I sitting in my car BSing for the day. I mean, so I've had really good experiences there. Largely, I think, because of the people I was with. Less about the city. Although I do miss the Star Trek hotel was really neat.
I think the last time I was in Vegas was for a wedding.
You went out for what's her name's wedding?
Mickey.
Yeah. Whom we haven't seen since then.
I've just been occasionally. It's like very rarely, like once a year if I'm lucky. Yeah. Mickey and Jared got married up there.
I'll tell you, like weddings is for me, like participating in a wedding, unless I'm the officiant. But participating in someone's wedding as part of the wedding party is like the death knell for me seeing them like frequently. Because I can look back and I was in this wedding and I haven't seen this person in 10 years. I was in this wedding and I haven't seen this person in 15 years. So
they themed it as like 20s Hollywood.
Oh, how fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
So I'm sure that there are weddings that are lovely that are in Vegas, but I've been on the Strip enough times and seen drunk people walking around in their wedding attire, spilling booze all over themselves, that it just, like, the thought of it just depresses
big
me.
fake plastic yard glasses and a veil.
You don't have any more room for those flyers they keep handing you,
No, those cards where they like make that noise
right,
in their hand with
they
them.
snap them back and forth.
Yeah.
My thing, the thing I love about that is you take one from one guy and you hand it to the next guy as he hands you one. And if you're fast enough, you could do the whole line and you end up with one flyer that you then throw away.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Every once in a while I see a concert out there that I would have liked to have gone to.
Strip.
Their wedding was off the strip. Okay, good. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while I see a concert out there that I would have liked to have gone to. There was a Blues Brothers concert out there with Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi and I'm like, that would be really fun to go to.
I do really love Lake Mead, so there is that.
Right.
And I could be convinced to go. It's just
I
don't have a
and
lot
the Ethel
of
Chocolate Factory.
The Ethel Chocolate Factory, which is okay.
We went there.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I think that the closed chocolate factory in San Francisco that we went to is better.
Scharfenberger.
And also the one we went to that is like they made Reese's there.
Right.
Near the north side of Yosemite. I don't remember the name of the town it's in. And I don't think they give tours anymore either.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean,
wait,
was a really cool
the best chocolate
town,
factory,
so to speak, out from there too.
The best chocolate factory tour ever was the one we went to in England.
Cadbury.
They had a museum and a factory tour, and they hand you a bag when you start the tour. And I said, "Oh, I don't want to waste plastic bags. We're together. Just give us one." And they're like, "No, you have to have one." And I said, "We could just share one." And they're like, "No, you each have to have your own." We didn't know that this place was like trick or treating, and every place you stopped, they put a candy bar in your bag. And at the end, you had like this big bag of candy bars, and then during they had a dark ride inside the factory tour,
which was hysterical because they're like, chocolate is amazing, and you're like going through the dark ride in the little car, and they're like, and here are the Aztecs who are committing human sacrifice and having chocolate while they do it.
Yeah. And
gotta love the British.
And then they take you like on one of those bridges out across the factory floor, and while you're there, they have a tasting station where they put liquid chocolate in several different little cups for you to try. And then with your full bag of candy, they dump you out into the gift shop, which is all candy and a restaurant. There's like a cafe there where they cook with chocolate.
Okay.
It is an amazing experience. You should go.
It was super cool.
The Seattle Chocolate Factory tour was good too.
Yeah, and the Seattle one like made you sort of a guinea pig. They gave you a bunch of chocolates. Like, what do you think of these?
Yeah, they did a chocolate tasting, and they'd have you taste it, and then you had to write down what you thought was in it. And then they, were trying to educate us.
It was super cool.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Cool. Nice. Hey, there's David. He just piped in.
Woohoo!
Have you ever been to? We're on this Las Vegas kick. Have you been to Bonnie Springs Ranch, which is outside Vegas a bit?
I believe I have.
It's called that, but it's like a Old West town.
Oh yeah, I have.
Well, that's good because it sounds like a bordello.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, if you stay in one of the hotel there, you'll realize there's some of the rooms are meant for honeymoons, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, also there's donkeys everywhere. There's like burros are mute, wandering wild all over the place.
Wow.
That's pretty neat.
Wandering burros.
Yeah, we went there when I lived there. So when I was like 12 or 13, we went to Bonnie Springs. And there used to be like an old time cowboy place out near like halfway to Hoover Dam.
Okay.
From Las Vegas to Hoover Dam. It was like this big fort that you would go in, and they had special events there, like weddings and retirement parties and things like that. I don't think it's open anymore. I think it closed years ago. I can't even remember what the name of the place was, but it was, I don't know, an old fort.
Allow me to jump in here and say that Colleen wins about the location of the wedding, which was in fact in Old World.
The sidewalk looked a bit more what I remember.
Yeah. So I actually found the old wedding invite from Saturday, October 30th, 2010. It's been a little while.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And they're still married. Woo!
Yeah. Old World. Yeah. It's I love Old World, but it's kind of a shame and depressing because a lot of shops that used to be there are gone.
They're
and there's
gone.
A lot of empty ones. So I don't know how much they got left in them, except like when it is Oktoberfest and these festivals, I think are the only things keeping it afloat right now.
Every place like that, especially ones that seem to be themed around some sort of ethnicity, they have a tendency to like vanish. Like there was this really cool Scottish English village thing in front of the Queen Mary that's long gone.
Oh man, I heard about that. Yeah,
Ports of Call used to be really great in San Pedro, and that has, I think most of that is gone. they keep saying, "Oh, we're revitalizing it," and then we never hear anything about it. There are a
I think
lot.
it works better if it's a town.
Yeah, there used to be like various Scottish villages, Irish villages, English villages all over the place, German villages, and most of them are just they've evaporated. They're gone because how do you maintain something that's just sort of specific to one geographic region?
I don't know. I know Solvang is still around, so that's good. But that's probably because it's like off the 101 or something.
It's
way
a
up north
destination.
from here.
It's like people are like, I'm going to Solvang. Because I remember when I was a kid, it was like, we
Yeah.
are going to Solvang. And it was like really far away. And,
And you all
yeah.
were always afraid that you'd break some of the china or crystal in
oh
other
my
shops.
gosh, yeah. Yeah, I knew better
It's been a
than
while.
to go
I
into
do love that
those.
place.
Frequently when I went to Solvang and stuff too, it was like I was in trouble usually because it was like, my parents want to go to Solvang, but they're mad at me because of my studies or something. I remember one day they made me do these handwriting things before we could go, and they're mad at me because it's like, we can't go because you're not done with this. And I'm like, this isn't real homework. You're just making me do this.
Yeah.
Weird stuff. So every time we went to Solvang, I'm like, it's like I'm being punished before I go, and I'm kind of being punished there because there's nothing to do for a kid at Solvang.
Oh yeah.
It was like really a bummer.
It's like it's a place to go and shop, and
Right.
eat food, and that's
You
really
shop,
not
eat
a whole
food,
lot else. I
drink.
think they have a museum.
You can drink there. I don't remember a museum when I was a kid, but most of my time was like,
Yeah, it's like a,
sitting on a bench looking at a windmill.
Yeah, I don't
It's,
have.
They have a Hans Christian Andersen one.
Oh, I don't remember that when I was a kid.
We went to Solvang when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything good about it. Just being worried, going
Yeah.
into crystal shops and being worried that I was going to break everything. And then we went as an adult,
Yeah.
and once you've gotten your deep
So-
fried sandwich with jelly on it,
Right.
you're kind of out of stuff to do except
Hey.
going into the crystal
man.
shops and worrying
We
about breaking
had
things.
a very lovely sarsaparilla on the steps of the gazebo in the park.
See, there you go. Gotta
We
go.
did.
I think the best time to go there, like any place, is probably like winter, like Christmas time or something, because then at least there's all that stuff going on. There's probably more to it.
Yeah,
than-
that's probably a good time to
but-
go. You're probably right.
So the place that I was
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
in Vegas, outside of Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
it was opened under the name Westworld in 1979, and
Uh-oh.
then it
Really?
changed. Yeah, it changed its name to Old Vegas.
Probably because the owners of the trademark for Westworld came and punched them.
Right. It changed
I mean,
its name
the robots
to
started to take over. They had to change the name.
Right.
Old Vegas, and it closed in 1986.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was in Henderson,
Ah.
which
Hmm.
when I lived in Vegas, going to the outskirts of Henderson, you were
Oh,
pretty
heavily,
much in the
yeah.
desert.
Yeah.
Right.
There was nothing there.
Now
unlike
it's
today.
a thriving community for retirees.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Lady A, that's somewhere I actually want to go. Haven't been there yet, so it's on my
Kingsburg?
planned bucket list of place to go. I guess would be Kingsburg. Yeah.
Kingsburg, where is that?
Yeah. Well,
Kingsburg, the Secret Service.
it's in Kingsburg. I don't.
It's
It's I want to say it's Central California. I'd say.
yeah, it's up by Wineland. I'm looking at a map right now.
Yeah.
Why do we want to go there? What is the...
Oh, it's south of
what's the draw?
Fresno, but north of Tulare.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in between the two of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an old-timey town that's like, a town that time forgot. It's one of those.
You mean like Hanford?
Kind of, yeah, like Hanford.
Oh. Okay.
We like Hanford,
Yeah.
although we haven't been
It's
in a
the
long,
one that's,
long time. But Hanford did weird things
Yeah.
like they put a bar in their jail, which was fun, and their townhouse looks like the Back to the Future courthouse.
Oh, it has a Swedish festival in
Hmm.
Kingsburg.
Yeah. That's why. And there's like they have a water tower looks like a large tea kettle, I guess, or yeah,
Yeah. Swedish coffee
like old
pot.
Swedish tea kettle.
Interesting.
It's a Swedish
It's
coffee
real-
pot
yeah.
water tower.
What
Yeah.
kind of creatures live in that?
Swedish ones.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, look at that. That's very cute. I'm trying to get it to like
Go back, go ahead and do it.
show me the pictures
Yeah.
big, but it doesn't want to do that. It just
It's-
wants me to search them
Yeko, Weko, and Umlaut.
in umlaut.
Yes.
Oh, the Schuna Schnitzelbank. That's pretty funny.
But it would be fun to stop there too, because it's that kind of town.
There's a town in Central California, I think, that has a bunch of old buildings. There's like the Union Hotel is there. That's a really neat town.
That place
Santa Rosa,
is that where it is? Santa Rosa?
maybe. I don't know whether I just looked up some other Union Hotel.
1880
Not really
Union
sure.
Hotel. It's in Los Alamos.
Oh, Los Alamos, that's where it is.
Wow.
Yes, I remember going to
Okay.
Los Alamos.
You, Jeff, you would love this place.
Yeah.
Because it's, first off,
Oh, wow.
it is legitimately an old Western hotel. And
You
secondly,
should show the
Look like-
picture of this show.
I am
Do you-
trying. I am trying, but every time I try to look at a picture in Google, it's like, we're going to search it with Google AI. And I'm like, I don't want that. I
Oh,
just,
I know.
Stabby,
I
stabby.
hate that.
yeah, I'm
Jeez.
really, really mad because every time I try to show this stupid picture, it's trying to search. Anyway, it's very much like it's like a haunted hotel. Totally looks like a haunted hotel.
The only problem is you can't get a room in this hotel anymore. You have to rent the entire location.
Do
It's
you?
it's an event space now.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah,
says
it's like a wedding-
individual room
wedding hotel
reservations are not
kinda thing.
All
available.
right, here we go. I'm just gonna show the dumb
Oh, I see. Oh, I see a
Website.
picture of it.
of it.
It looks like the front of it, an old picture of it looks wood on the front or
Yeah,
in the back.
exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
let's try this.
But
Yeah.
the whole town of Los Alamos is really cute.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I remember like us going there and like walking through it and checking it out. We didn't stay there. We had some friends
And back then you
who
could
stayed there,
you could get a room,
but
we
you could
couldn't
get a
afford
room
one.
and go in. Yeah, but
Oh man.
anyway, it looks like one of the. It would be a fun thing to just like show up in Ghostbusters gear, take a picture out in front, and do that kind of stuff. Oh, I remember walking there. We walked through their gardens and stuff.
Hang out on the porch as Woody.
But that's really funny that they don't run it anymore as a thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
There is a bed and breakfast that I think is nearby that has themed rooms, which I thought this place used
Okay.
to, so I might be getting my
I thought it did too,
places
but
confused.
I don't know. We've never done that. We've never gone to a place with like themed rooms, like the
the
Madonna Inn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see people all the time on Facebook like, we're going back to the Madonna Inn. This is like our 25th visit, and I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So the time
like
to
the
go to
Hotel
Los
Del
Alamos is the last weekend in September when they have Los Alamos Old Days. So
Okay.
put that on your calendar, Jeff. Sean and I can't go because we're not going to be available then, but
Right.
Okay.
there you go. Should we move on to Star Wars?
Yeah.
Sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now that we've got like 10 minutes to the
Let's
top of the
see
hour,
here.
and we've been totally talking.
I know, jeez.
Totally.
I try to buzz through these real fast. And I'll bring it. I'm gonna talk about something well after the hour, I guess.
Okay.
Of another place I wanted to go to. I've never been to it, and I know you guys have probably been there. So anyway, Star Wars history. Here we go. August 20th, 1915 is when George, I want to say Russos, was born. He was generally, I believe he was a colorist and an inker mostly, but he worked on Star Wars from 1977 and annual, so a lot of the Marvel runs
Oh, great.
of Star Wars. Yeah. And then of course he did a lot of other stuff at Marvel as well. It's just like anywhere. Actually, did a lot with Marvel and also like the Avengers.
Oh,
He
okay.
worked with Jack Kirby a lot. Yeah.
And he did a run of
He
Ewoks
also
and
worked on
droids
some old
too.
horror ones too. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it was like droids and Ewoks, and then some other stuff.
Ooh,
Next up we have
he did
is
he did horror
sorry,
comics too.
Yeah. August 21st, 1929 is Marie Severin. She was born. She was also a comic artist. Well, see here, Star Wars would be also typically a colorist, whatnot, but worked on the Marvel Comics of the 77 run for Marvel Comics. And of course, Droids and Ewoks, so another person that worked on those. Also worked on like the Incredible Hulk and Spider-Woman and Cole the Conqueror. She actually was a co-creator of Jessica Drew and Spider-Woman. So that's pretty cool.
She got her start in the late 1950s, which is like a crazy place to think. It says her illustrations led Marvel editor-in-chief Stan Lee to assign her the feature Doctor Strange. So she was doing Doctor Strange comics for a while. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I like that's. I love the fact that I can get, like, for most of these birthdays, I get more information on people than just like, well, they did this Star Wars thing. That's
right.
It.
Well, and I remember seeing her
the next
name in
one,
comic books, but I don't think they used her first name. I think she was just known as Severin. And I never knew she was a woman.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. August 19th, 1946, Christopher Malcolm was born. He played Zev Sineska in Empire Strikes Back. We found him. I repeat, we found him.
Right.
Is kind of basically his line. But he was wow. I didn't think this was him. He was Kirk Matunas. He was in Highlander. He was the Marine.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who watched the
Labyrinth,
sword
he was
fight.
a dad. So yeah, so pretty cool. He had like 58 other credits. So not just a Star Wars and that's it.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It's funny to see him there because he totally looks like a Marine. He's got such a great look in Highlander. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Don is checking in
next
from
up
his
on
new
the
house.
list here, we're good.
Don is checking in from his new house. Hey, Don.
Sweet.
Hey, Don. August 20th, 1951 is when Greg Bear was born. He was author of the Star Wars book Rogue Planet. And then, of course, his other things he worked on. Let's see, Forge of the Gods books, the Aeon series, whatever is listed on this page here. Can't say I've read his other work, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he used to come to the LA area conventions all the time, which was pretty cool. And he's got
I would imagine Lost Gone.
many stories under his belt and books under his belt.
Yeah. Our last birthday, really only one credit that I can think of that isn't in IMDb, so we only know it through somehow through Wikipedia has it. And I think this is more of like kind of like being an extra, but Madison Lloyd, born August 22nd, 1991, the sister of Jake, who played a young Anakin. She played, I guess it says unnamed child. So
Right.
some Naboo kid in background. Yeah.
Well, nepotism is alive and well, and it's she looked so much like her brother too, which was really funny. And Colleen found an obituary where she was a massive sci-fi fan. Doctor Who, Star Trek, Supernatural, Walking Dead, Harry Potter, the Whedonverse, all of that stuff. So definitely sad. It just says she died of natural causes.
Yeah.
and so we don't really know what she died from. But she was one of us, that's for sure.
Exactly. Let's see here. I got 4 minutes. See if I can burn through this. So there's 3 here. August 20th, 1973. We're done with the birthdays. As when George Lucas signed up with Fox. I guess it was the little loose scribble deal that he did with
Laddie. Alan Ladd Jr.
Yeah.
Cool.
August 16th, 2002 is when Big Rock Ranch opened. Lucasfilm.
Big Rock Ranch is just south of Skywalker Ranch. It's easier to get to if you're like a Lucas fan and you're trying to do something. Largely because Skywalker Wineries is located out of there, so you can do a wine tasting weekend up there. It's absolutely beautiful. It's mission style architecture with lakes and gardens. It's absolutely amazing. There is the inevitable Yoda statue out front, because there's got to be a Yoda statue in front of everything. That Larry Noble did. But it's if it's a thing you want to check out, it's easy to do. And in fact, it was a place that was originally built as an admin building for all of Lucasfilm's associated companies. So that's where the lawyers were going to be, and the executives and everything. And so it was really designed as an office complex. It's really super nice.
Oh, okay. Last on the list is August 18th, 2009 is when Star Wars Fate of the Jedi Abyss, I think it's Abyss, but
right,
was published.
I like the fate of the Jedi Abyss. It sounds like a thing into which they throw all the Jedi.
That's where they threw the Acolyte, right?
Right, exactly. Troy Denning wrote it.
What happened there?
And so I guess it was just a novel in that series. But
it's with, I think Leia's the main character.
Leia's on the cover, yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, I could look into it, but.
Well, it's Legends now, so it doesn't really matter. Hey, and you know what we heard? I think we can say this. There was a Legends Con that we went to a couple of years back. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like they're starting to plan the second one. I know Craig Miller was there. You and I were there, Jeff. It was really cool. So they're looking for volunteers and getting ready to go. And I'm kind of excited. I got to be a moderator on panels on comic books, and we had the best time. It was really a lot of fun. Our friend Ryan was instrumental in getting that going. And it focused on all the Legends stuff that Disney discarded. And, no anger, no Disney sucks, no whatever. It's just like, we still like these books and we still want to celebrate them. It was perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's being called Legends Expo now.
Yeah. There's and
we'll don't need to go into that.
Reorganizing. So, yeah. Hey, let me jump in and remind you guys that you were listening to sci-fi.radio, sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. That's where we broadcast Docking Bay 94 audio only. We have all sorts of news and stuff up there that you can check out. Lots of trailers and news on video games and things. We put news up there every single day, and you can listen to sci-fi.radio 24/7, where if we don't have a hosted show like this, or like my morning show from 9 to 11 Pacific time, you can listen to video game music and movie music and stuff that our auto DJ plays all the time. There's always something going on over there. So go check that out. We have YouTube and Facebook and Twitch all broadcasting this video right now. So if you can see our smiling faces, you're tuned into one of those. And we appreciate your company, especially over there on the chat as everybody chimes in. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
Just Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And thanks for tuning in. We got one more hour to go.
Jeff wanted to talk about some place that he wanted to go.
One more thing. Okay. And before I do that, I'll tell you that Legends Expo is tentatively set for summer of next year.
Great.
Summer/fall next year. So it's kind of vague, but yeah.
Well,
next year.
I think I need to chime in with those guys and let them know when Worldcon in Los Angeles is happening to make sure that they don't schedule them on the same weekend. Because we're helping with Worldcon, which is coming to Los Angeles in 2026.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Yeah. So the place I haven't wanted to go to or stay at, because I believe it still is a hotel, is in San Diego area, which is the Hotel del Coronado.
Oh yeah, that's expensive too. I want to go there.
We've never
at
stayed
Christmas
there.
time. My only experience with the Hotel Del is I went to lunch there once. We were supposed to go to tea, and I don't know why it transmogrified into lunch. But
probably
it's
because
lovely.
tea was so expensive.
Probably. And I would like to do a costumed weekend during the Christmas holidays when they have like the ice skating and all that. I think that would be really fun.
Okay.
Let me jump in here just really quick because Frequent Falcon Flyer said Worldcon ? Yeah, so the World Science Fiction Convention has been going on since 1939, and they had a lot of firsts. It was the first Worldcon. They had a lot of authors come in. The first cosplay happened there, science fiction cosplay, a whole bunch of things. And this convention has been going on pretty much every year since, and it wanders around the world, which is why it's called Worldcon. Although the way it typically works out, it's usually like in the United States one year, and then it's somewhere else one year. This past year, it was in Scotland, which was kind of cool. So you could fly to Scotland and then go to the convention, and then not go to the convention and go see the surrounding area. That just ended. Worldcon is where they do the Hugo Awards. If you've ever looked at a book and seen this is a Hugo Award winning book. That's where the Hugo Awards are administered. Yeah. Let's see, they had it in Chengdu, China 2 years ago. Colleen and I went to Chicago to do one. We went to Toronto to do one.
We went to San Jose.
San Jose, which was just a drive up the coast. And, it's been going on for so long. And so the way the Worldcon works is people bid, locations bid, like the Olympics, to go, we want to host the Worldcon. And the people who attend the Worldcon pay money to get to vote and say, I want it to be here, I want it to be there. And whoever wins that vote, they get it. And so Los Angeles, Colleen and I are on a committee that has been trying to get it here in Los Angeles. This will be LACon 5. It'll be the 5th Worldcon held in Los Angeles. They're going to have it at the Anaheim Convention Center, where they do the big Star Wars conventions, and D23. And the attendance is 8,000 to 10,000 people. It's nothing like a major science fiction convention, like a Comic-Con that you're used to. It's a lot more relaxed than that. They have author guests of honor. So if you're a literary science fiction fan, you can come meet your authors. Very frequently, they will do readings and stuff.
You can actually talk to them as opposed to like at Comic-Con,
right?
Where you don't really usually get that opportunity.
So Barbara Hambly's going to be there. Ron Moore, who writes a lot of sci-fi shows and runs those, he's going to be there. Colleen Doran, who's a cartoonist. They've got science people like Dr. Anita Sengupta is going to be there, and she's a scientist and engineer. Stan Sakai, who is a comic book writer and did Usagi Yojimbo, things like that. All sorts of great people. And they're just getting started with the people who are going to attend. These are the guests of honor. Okay. But that said, like Spider Robinson was going to come. He's kind of under the weather, so he's up in the air right now.
Oh darn.
Lots of cool things going on. And so if you want a small convention to come and hang out, this is the one to do it. And so just go to lacon.org, and you can also go to worldcon.org and learn about all the other worldcons. And look them up on Wikipedia. They list them all and stuff. It's a fun convention, and they do things a little differently. The last Worldcon that was in LA, Colleen entered the table setting contest. Because what science fiction convention has a table setting contest?
I came in second.
This one, apparently. Yeah.
And the table
Nice.
that came in first totally nailed it. Theirs was so good.
It was amazing.
They did a Kazin table. So, like, setting a table for cats.
Oh, nice.
For
cat
cat
people.
aliens, yeah.
Yeah.
And specifically what they did is they took into account the fact that cats see a different color spectrum. And so everything on the table was meant to align with this color spectrum that cats can see in. They really went. And then Colleen took as far away from that as you possibly could. She did Dr. Seuss.
Yep.
And it was a Dr. Seuss
We had a
table.
live goldfish on the table.
We did. Who got a badge? They brought the goldfish a badge.
It was fun.
It was the best.
Frequent Falcon Flyer
Awesome.
says, you guys having a booth? Does that mean Docking Bay 94? Is that what the question is?
Sci-fi.radio will probably have some sort of representation there. There's a good chance that if I don't over-volunteer, I will broadcast my show from there Friday morning. Thursday night is usually sort of set up for the convention, and so I don't know that we'll be broadcasting from there. But if there's a sci-fi.radio table, we'll probably pop by and hang out and see what's up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But a sci-fi.radio room party would be really fun. I leave that to Gene and Susan.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be pretty cool, right?
Wow.
So anyway,
Now I want to do that.
it doesn't say what the theme is up here, because they were talking about the theme, which is like something about travel or some such, and I don't see it listed here for whatever reason. But anyway, we've got a long way to go. We got 2 years to plan, and it'll be gone in an instant. But it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully, and there's a lot of conventions between here and then. So, but we'll keep you updated as we learn new things.
I would like to put in that how I talked about, Jeff said he wanted to go to Hotel Del, and I said I've always wanted to do like a costumed weekend there.
Yeah.
At Christmas, because they have a skating rink and tea, and they do all sorts of fancy stuff. They have fancy meals.
And just as a frame of reference for the Hotel del Coronado, this is the hotel in which Somewhere in Time was inspired. Richard Matheson, who wrote Somewhere in Time, wrote a book called Bid Time Return, and he was inspired by that hotel and wrote it in that hotel. So it does have like a sci-fi connection.
So
and beyond that, it's also the hotel that shows up in Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon.
My gig. This year's special celebration for Christmas is a celebration of old Hollywood, specifically Some Like It Hot, because it's the 65th anniversary
Cool.
of Some Like It Hot. And so the Christmas trees and garlands will dazzle with Hollywood glamour, reflecting the timeless elegance of Marilyn Monroe and featuring hues of ruby and cherry. And then Lori had said, not Lori, who said this? Someone said to go to the Crown Ballroom. It's the Lady A.
Yeah.
Anyway, their Christmas Eve dinner is in that room, and their description of the room is that the stunning crown and coronet rooms, whose 33-foot-tall domed wood ceilings and crown chandeliers were designed by Wizard of Oz author L. Frank Baum, and have been beautifully restored in 2024.
Cool.
So
that's awesome.
It is groovy.
Sweet. Well, we have a Star Wars thing here that I think only Jeff is qualified to talk deeply on because Colleen and I have not seen the Acolyte yet.
Yeah.
We had family stuff to deal with. We never went to go see it, and so it's kind of lurking. And now it's been canceled.
It's in me. Well, that's the interesting thing. I mean, officially, there's been zero official word about it being canceled. The only thing that has been said at all is an article by Deadline, and it says, and it's in
Which everyone is
basically
quoting.
Our sources say.
Yeah.
So we don't really know for sure if it's been canceled. There has been zero official word from Disney or Lucasfilm about it being canceled. So it may or may not be.
Well, on one hand,
it's
what a
a
way to find out if people would be upset if it were canceled than to leak a story saying it was. But the biggest problem with the Acolyte, and again, we haven't seen it, so I can't talk to how good a show it was. But the biggest problem I have is that there are people out there absolutely rejoicing in the news that it's been canceled. And they're like, F Star Wars, and F Star Wars fans, and F wokeness, and it's like...
I'm pretty sure that all these people didn't like The Last Jedi.
I'm not sure these people like anything.
Right?
Because, man, they're they're absolutely brutal about it. And I'm like, do you like any science fiction? And the stuff that they always seem to like is like, white hero saves universe kind of a deal. And I'm like, how about we see different stuff than that? It's a big universe.
Yeah.
Jeff, the Hotel Del has a Victorian, they have restored the Victorian part of their hotel, and you can stay there starting in 2025, March of 2025. And the rates are comparable to the Grand Californian.
Wow.
Yeah, $485 is like
God.
the lowest price that I could find.
But if you go get that room and you dress in costume and you lay on the bed and you have a recording that plays over and over and over again.
As long as you don't have any pennies on you.
Right, make sure you don't have any coins in your pocket, man, because that'll screw you up.
Wow, these rooms are super expensive.
Do you think it's worth it? Are they like absolutely beautiful and whatever? Or
I mean, their Shore House building is the cheapest room they have is $739 a night.
Wow.
So, do I think it's worth it? Maybe for people who aren't us.
Good God.
I mean, we.
Geez.
We have not.
That's like our entire vacation budget.
Right. We have not saved to go to any of the
just
Disney
like
stuff.
A good place to visit.
Right. Yeah. Visit during the day.
This is their
sort
of video thing, and they're like all about the beach. Come to the beach, be young and pretty. At our thing, and they're showing more people than they are showing the hotel. Which is which tells me it's way too frickin' expensive if they're not even showing you the hotel.
I think the Grand Floridian was sort of based on this,
it has
on the Hotel del Coronado.
It has similarities. This isn't showing the hotel that I want to see.
Yeah,
they're showing all these beautiful
showing
people.
You what a good time you can have if you're a beautiful person.
If you have stupid amounts of money.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
Because all I did is I came up here and I clicked on a picture. I just wanted to see a photograph. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with pictures today. I don't know. It's like Google has taken over, and absolutely everything has got to be like AI related. They're like, we're going to show you what we think you need to see, and none of it is what I want to see.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is the hotel.
So
this is what it looks like. Simple picture.
Yep. There you go.
All right.
It is a really big and beautiful hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, and they're all about like it's so old it's haunted kind of a deal. The funny thing about America is that we don't have a lot of really old history here compared to like Europe. And when you get to the West Coast, it's even less. And so, like we looked at that other hotel from like 1880 and oh gosh, isn't that a long time ago? But it isn't really. And so, a lot of these things that go back to the turn of the last century, I mean, it's just not that old.
Yeah.
But I love this style of architecture.
You go back to Europe and there's buildings that were made in the early hundreds.
Yes. I have walked through them. It's amazing. And you sit there like, built in 1099. You're like, damn.
Yeah. For the Acolyte, I mean, people should still, at least see the season that's up there. If it gets a second season, cool. If not, well, oh well.
Yeah.
The choreography for the fight scenes was just like amazing. Like all the lightsaber and whatever else fight scenes were actually really good. And for me, like I said, the first 2 episodes were not as good to me as a remainder of the series, but that just means because for me, I have to watch. It takes me 3 episodes.
Right.
Like
Same here.
I give every show 3 episodes, and unless it's incredibly bad, like if it is horrendously bad in the first episode, I usually don't go further. It has to be really, really bad though.
But
usually I'll give a show 3 episodes.
So largely considered,
and it got better.
Yeah, one of the shows that's largely considered to be the best Disney show out there is Andor. And Andor started slowly. And it got really good by the end of it. But they also switched gears 3 times in the middle of the series. They're like, hey, it's this kind of show, and now it's this kind of show, and now it's this kind of show. And so, I mean, that certainly holds your interest. But these guys didn't have enough time to really tell that much of a story, because it really sort of, from what I understand and what I've seen of it, it looks like they were leading into a second season where everything was going to come to a head.
Yeah. Definitely.
So,
I hope so. I hope they do get a second season, and this whole sources tell me kind of stuff is just bogus, but we'll see.
I'd like to see it get a second season just to give the middle finger to all the naysayers.
Yeah, totally. Is the best thing for me. I mean, the acting was much better by the 3rd episode for me, for certain actors. But and I don't know if that's because of direction or what, but it's just how it ended up being for those first 2 for me, for a few characters. They were fine for the rest of the series. Just these first 2 episodes for some reason. But definitely not only that, but it's just like when you see anything that if you see any Star Wars movie, any Indiana Jones movie, any other movie that happens to have John Williams do the music for, it's like this show, the music was amazing. Whatever you think of even whatever you think of the show, try to see if you can find. Hopefully they'll put the music out on a download or a CD or something or whatever, because it was just really amazing music.
Well, if it's done right, the music should be its own character, and it should clue you into what's happening, as opposed to just being there to fill space.
Yeah, and it's the score. I think they did a song that's over the credits of the last episode, so it didn't really matter if it was that it was there, because it was like this is about this character or whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
But and I didn't think that really fit with Star Wars, but it was over credits. It had nothing to do with the film. So but the rest of the score itself, like the orchestra thing, was just amazingly good.
Well, Disney and their hit single over the credits, they love doing that.
Yeah. Here's Peeble Bryson with Yoda.
Right.
My heart.
That's a duet I'd like to hear.
All right. Critter Country in Disneyland is getting a new name, and it is Bayou Country, I think.
Yeah, it is Bayou Country.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and Critter Country wasn't the original name of that section either.
No, it was.
No.
That was in
It was Bear
1988.
Country.
Bear Country.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I miss
Yeah.
it being Bear Country. I was perfectly fine with it.
Remember
being
the
Bear Country.
bears that used to where
Yeah.
they put the log ride in? There used to be snoring bears in caves up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. That was amazing.
I was sad
loved
when
that
those
as
went
a
away.
kid. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, I thought they moved the bear somewhere else, like over by Big Thunder or something.
Oh,
by
I don't.
by
I
like
thought
a
they just
waterfall.
took it
Snoring
out.
Bear?
Yeah, I thought they moved it.
It's on the ride.
Is it on the
Oh.
Well,
ride?
they moved him. Well,
I
they moved
never-
the snoring part onto the ride itself.
I never go onto the ride because I don't like wet feet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So on Splash Mountain, up near there's a part that's on the where you're up higher up, and you're on the outside, and you go past these little dens, and one of them is supposed to be Bear's little den or his little house. And he's snoring. It is the snoring bear sound from way back when.
so
Which was supposed to be Rufus, the bear.
So the
think
press
so.
release for this says Bayou Country is situated on the edge of New Orleans Square with shady trees, mesmerizing music, and a vast collection of enchanting surprises. Guests will discover a land filled with friendly woodland animals, from a trumpet-playing gator and an adorable bear who craves honey to a musical cast of bears, frogs, and other critters.
Woodland.
Woodland.
In a bayou?
That's what it says.
Okay.
Yeah. Weird. And also, is a trumpet-playing gator really something that you would find in the woodland?
No, you would find him in the swamp,
Right.
in the bayou.
In the bayou. Yeah. Weird.
All right. Well, I mean, they can't alienate
Well,
Winnie the Pooh.
transition.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Disneyland is going to follow in Disney World's footsteps to update Peter Pan to be more culturally sensitive. They're going to
Yeah.
remove stereotypes of indigenous people from the Peter Pan ride, which I believe means that they're making them
Well,
more
I'll get
accurate.
I'll get a picture. Yeah, they're less cartoony. So
altering it.
if you don't remember Peter Pan featured a rather questionable song that was "What Made the Red Man Red,"
Red Band,
and
Red.
it was an actual like sort of story point and whatever. And so what they're doing now is they're taking out the very stereotypical kind of offensive cartoon look of these things, and then they are making them
Yeah.
they're making them a little more normal. So I'm going to show you these things, and
Yeah.
we'll explain them for the people on the
I think
radio.
Tiger Lily looks the same.
Tiger Lily is about the same, but she's dancing now, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
if you look at the top is very cartoony, and if you look at the bottom, they look kind of like normal humans.
The teepees
Yeah,
look
yeah.
like the designs are more realistic.
Right? They're more accurate.
Yeah.
Like the turtle and the bear paw look.
So this
more
is
realistic.
the old scene as it used to be, with the very angry looking kind of, savage looking Indian
Yeah.
kind of deal. And this is the way it was in the movie.
They all have really big noses.
They do. And that's
Yep.
part of the stereotype. And now they've kind of
Mel Brooks.
pulled everything back in. Kind of blurry pictures because somebody took them while on the ride. But now they're they're dancing, and it's just a regular village, as opposed to what was in the cartoon. Now, that said, this now means that this doesn't match the cartoon, if that's a problem for you. But on the other hand, I mean, I'm a big fan of representation, and I'm a big fan of not insulting people. I think this is cool, and it's not like they ripped Tiger Lily out. She's right there. And, I remember being a kid and having the record of, what made the red man red. And I always kind of like, you know, it always bugged me, even when I was a little kid. It was always kind of strange. So this is fine.
I think they could have maybe gotten a little closer to the artistic style of the cartoon of other characters, not the Native Americans of the cartoon, but like Peter Pan and all them.
Right.
Because they weren't really caricatured. I think they could have gotten a little closer to that style for these guys, but otherwise this doesn't bother me or anything.
Yeah, they do have kind of a modern cartoon sensibility versus the 1950s cartoon sensibility.
Yes, yeah.
But I think they went like really far to go like, let's not offend anybody. So, and I mean, they are kind of slightly caricatured. Like if you look at the guys on the right, they're still kind of caricatured, but I mean, honestly, the guy on the far right sort of looks like Elvis.
He does.
Hey now, I'm gonna be playing this drum here.
Elvis does have Native American ancestry, so
right,
you know.
Exactly. So, I think it's fine. I'm not concerned. And because how quickly do you see this frickin' thing when you go through the ride? Last time I was on Peter Pan, you just like blew past it. That's real fast.
Yeah.
So.
And moving over to Florida to Disney World, there was a first look at the island tower at the Polynesian Villas and Bungalows. Sean and I stayed at Shades of Green, which the nearest monorail station to Shades of Green, you have to walk across to the nearest hotel, which is the Polynesian. So we spent a lot of time walking through the Polynesian, and I think we had a meal there too.
I liked the Polynesian. Actually, the Polynesian was funny. It gave us one of the weirdest mysteries of our trip, which was we were standing around waiting for everybody to get their stuff together, and we looked up in the ceiling, and ghosted on one of the skylights was Mickey Mouse's face. And we couldn't figure out, what was he doing up there? Is it a hidden Mickey? Is it a weird, what is it? It's really weird. And what it turned out to be is that somebody's balloon got stuck up there in the heat, and the face transferred from the balloon to the plastic. It melted right into the plastic. And we were like, what the heck? We talked about that forever trying to figure it out. This is the Polynesian. This is their one of the restaurants that they're putting together, which is pretty cool.
The Wailulu Bar and Grill.
And it's nice.
And they've got a new pool with there's a splash area with a Moana theme, which is appropriate.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, it's the splash area. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the pool.
I'm like, they're walking on water.
I thought it was the pool when I saw it first, too.
Like, get the butt out of the pool.
Right. This is weird. This looks like VR. It's like stunning terrace garden views.
Yeah, I don't...
And I have to assume that it's open at the end and you can look out across the water, because we went down to the beach when we were staying there and we watched like an electrical parade on the water.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
That was fun.
And
yeah,
it was neat.
Basically, it just says call the reservation number to stay at the hotel. It doesn't give any
no prices, no
prices.
If you have to ask, you can.
The menu for the bar and grill is being released in the near future. So they project that the new tower will open on December 17th.
It's the tower part that concerns me.
Well, you can see on the very top picture, you can see the very bottom of the tower. And they've got room for more hotel rooms there.
I think we went to a luau thing there.
Oh, yeah? It's a neat hotel, and it is...
We went to like a luau thing. Yeah.
One of the cool things about the transit system at Walt Disney World is you can get on and you can just get off at a hotel and check it out.
Yeah.
Like you can get off at the Contemporary, you can get off at the Polynesian, and do whatever's in that area, and it's pretty neat.
Sean,
it's
you want to...
one of the higher priced hotels.
Yeah. Well, and when we stayed across the way at the Shades of Green, that's for military people, and you pay
Yeah.
what your pay level is. So our friend John, who we stayed with and went on the sort of second half of his honeymoon, he was kind of low on the totem pole, and so it cost $50 a night to stay there, and we had 5 people in the room paying $10 a piece to stay there every night. It was amazing. So we basically
Nice.
paid $20 to stay on Disney property every night. But of course, this was
Cool,
25 years ago. So that's bad.
Yeah.
Colleen was giving me a lead in here for our Rest in Peace section. We did lose a few people this week. Perry Kurtz, a comedian, was killed in a hit and run crash in Tarzana, which is about, 10 miles to the north of us here. And there's an 18-year-old driver in the car, and it was on Ventura Boulevard at Corbin Avenue, and just a really kind of unfortunate thing. So he was a comedian here, largely in LA, and had gone karaoke singing. So that's kind of a crappy way to end your karaoke.
Yeah, he
singing
was
thing.
walking back to the comedy club when he got hit.
Yeah, that's not cool. Alain Delon, French actor, has passed away at the age of 88. He was big after World War II and was in a whole lot of European films as the stud muffin du jour. And he was largely considered to be the French James Dean. Had those kind of, good looks. And but people thought that he was like a little too hot for his own good. Don't you just hate that? We lost talk show host Phil Donoho, who has been, pretty quiet in recent years. But his talk shows were, groundbreaking. Basically set the tone for every talk show to follow. Oprah Winfrey credits him as being the influence on her that got her show going. So, I guess we can blame Phil Donoho for Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil. But it was like he used to get in trouble from the network and things because it was like he had one guest per show, didn't have a band, didn't do a variety show thing. He sat there, talked to his guest, asked questions from the audience, really focused on what was going on with that one particular guest. He started in 1969 in Dayton, Ohio. Eventually made his way to Hollywood. He got a Peabody Award in 1980 and racked up 20 Emmy Awards over 26 years, which was nuts. And in this past May, he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Joe Biden. So kind of sad here. And of course, his wife was Marlo Thomas, and they were a very popular Hollywood couple. And of course, Marlo Thomas went on to do Friends and stuff. And but they were like, everybody kind of knew them as a couple in Hollywood, and they made their marriage work, which was great. So sad to hear of his passing, but 88 is pretty good. So.
Jeff, you want
Good
to
stuff.
grab your topic?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a cartoon that was going to be that's coming out under a different name, and I think they sort of retooled it as well as well. So originally there was going to be Spider-Man freshman year, and it was basically going to stay in the same canon timeline or whatever as the Tom Holland movies. But Instead, they're doing something that is going to be called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This is an animated series coming to Disney Plus. And it'll have a few characters on it and a few changes. So it's going to be sort of like instead of being in the same universe as the Tom Holland ones, it'll be, of course, an alternate universe kind of situation. Because instead of Ned being his friend in the chair and Tony Stark being his mentor, and I don't know how this is, but he says that Norman Osborn is going to be his mentor in his man in the chair. I'm like, but isn't he the Green Goblin? And is he not the Green Goblin in this universe?
Maybe not yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird. And then it'll have other characters from like the Runaways, Nico from the Runaways, and Amadeus Cho, and Taskmaster's daughter. But the thing that I thought was pretty cool is that one of the voice actors that's going to actually be in this is Charlie Cox as Daredevil, who played Daredevil in live action. So he's going to be the voice of him as well in this cartoon. And then they haven't announced who's going to play the other voices of like Doctor Strange and Iron Man and such. But yeah,
interesting.
so pretty cool. Yeah, it says just says this year. There's no release date. Sometime this year, probably later on.
I want to talk about a new Fever event that is popped up in Los Angeles that is starting on August 23rd.
Fever event?
Yeah, Fever event. They did all those Netflix
okay, like Stranger
Things.
Okay.
Yeah, like we did the drive-through Stranger Things during COVID.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So they
Gotcha.
have got and they also did in Los Angeles, they did the Bridgerton experience, which I didn't go to, but a lot of people said was really good. They have got Beetlejuice, the Afterlife experience.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it says, prepare to step into Tim Burton's strange, spirited, and visually iconic world of the afterlife in an all-new official interactive experience inspired by this fall's highly anticipated movie Beetlejuice. And then they've got their whole thing where a standard admission is $26.25, and then they've got VIP admission, which gives you extra goodies. You get for double the price, you get priority entry, flexibility to reschedule your tickets up to 24 hours, a special unnamed VIP package, and a complimentary digital movie of the original Beetlejuice. The VIP admission doesn't really sound worth it.
Doesn't sound that great.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's $48.
Huh.
Seniors 65 plus are $23.10. And they have group tickets available for $21 each.
Interesting.
Okay.
Just as a side note to that, here in Los Angeles, and I just checked because I thought for sure they would want to close this down in time for that experience to open. We've had a bar out here for quite some time, much like the Scum and Villainy bar that we were talking about earlier, that's called Beetle House LA. And it's basically a Tim Burton-themed bar that's sort of largely themed around Beetlejuice. And I thought they closed, but they're still open on weekends from Thursday to Sunday.
Huh.
You can go in and get, sort of bar food and hang out and do whatever. And they don't have bar stools. But a lot of people really like it, and it's just one of those kind of thing that if you like
It's like
Beetlejuice and Tim Burton, it's a place to go.
So this Beetlejuice
all
thing
goes.
is taking place at Ovation Hollywood, which is the new name for Hollywood and Highland, I believe.
Yes, it is.
So it's probably taking place on that third floor event venue.
Oh, the one that used to be the Highland Bar, where
where we did the
we did the Star Wars, or no, the AFI party.
the AFI party.
Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So, see, I would expect them to try to shut this bar down in advance of that, because they have people running around playing Tim Burton characters like Beetlejuice and Sally and.
Well, it would be fun to make a whole day of it, do a costumed thing, and go to both the bar, which is called Beetle House LA.
Beetle House LA, yeah.
You probably said that. Sorry.
I did.
And also go to that event.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sean, what do you want to talk about? I highlighted the 2 things that you have left that you need to talk
Thanks. So Lionsgate Films released a second trailer for a Francis Ford Coppola movie called Megalopolis. And when they did, they got themselves in a little bit of trouble, because they debuted the film, I think in Cannes, and it wasn't super well received, and so they're trying to do damage control on that. And what they're doing is quoting reviews of Francis Ford Coppola's previous work. And there were a lot of critics who didn't like his stuff, like Rex Reed called Apocalypse Now a gumbo of pretentious twaddle. You know, there's a lot of folks who didn't like Francis Ford Coppola stuff. But for whatever reason, the quotes that they put in this trailer aren't real. Pauline Kael, who writes for The New Yorker, said The Godfather was diminished by its artsiness, and they quoted Roger Ebert and John Simon and Stanley Kaufman and Vincent Canby and all of these things. But the problem is that none of these quotes are really from, other movies like that. So they said Dracula was a triumph of style over substance. And that came from his review of Batman, which isn't even a Coppola film. So they had to rescind the trailer, and nobody's saying what happened. Either whoever put the quotes together went onto Google and ended up with the same AI problems I've been having, that basically said, oh, this is what critics said about Francis Ford Coppola, and they're wrong. Or they just made stuff up. But whatever it is, somebody's busted. And it's not really having... The effect they were going for was, yes, critics may not be liking Francis Ford Coppola's movie right now, but it will be a classic inevitably, because, that's what happens with Coppola films over time. They become a thing. This is a movie that has brain melting. I'm staring right at him. Adam Driver in it, and so I mean, could be good, could be weird. It's Francis Ford Coppola. When's the last time we saw anything from him, really? And but I mean, this isn't going to do anything to endear them to critics, for sure. And having to pull that trailer probably cost him a bunch of money. So, yeah, it's a mess. And it's not the kind of publicity that any movie studio wants to have. So I don't know. You can go try and watch the other trailer and see if the movie's even something you want to see. But it's a bad way to get started.
I have a question for you, and Sean. Since I was looking at the event for the Beetlejuice thing, and I wasn't listening to you talk about Beetle House.
Yeah.
Did you note that it's a restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
I thought it was a bar.
It is a restaurant and a bar. If you want to go to the restaurant and make reservations and sit down and eat food, you can sit at a table. If you want to drink at the bar, there are no bar stools. you just
you stand.
You just stand and hang
Yeah.
out and do whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. So like
Hogo's Cantina vibe.
yeah, you pay for the privilege of you putting your butt in a seat.
Well, and also they give you a 3-course meal. So.
Yes, and it can be pricey, for sure.
It's a flat rate. It's $65 a person.
Oh, that's less
Which-
than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
Good.
that's about where I would be okay with spending for an event like this.
Yeah.
75, I would be like, I don't know.
Right. It would be just this side of the line.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have heard nothing but good things about it. I've got plenty of friends who have gone on Facebook and said that it was absolutely amazing. And the one thing that I do not know where it is like it's in Hollywood. I don't know exactly where in Hollywood it is.
7080 Hollywood Boulevard.
So it is. It's down the street, like by 2 blocks to the west of the Chinese theater.
So it's very close to that other
It's
place.
it's at La Brea and Hollywood.
It is walking distance.
It's across from that place with the 4 statues that are
Yeah.
there in that little island. And for Jeff's purposes, it is right behind the place where we usually kind of meet to do the parade. It's like right over there. When we park, it's like a block west from where we do the Hollywood Christmas parade stuff. So, yeah, interesting. I think it could be fun. And I don't know what we would wear. Could always go
Right.
as Ghostbusters, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll teach him.
That would be very silly.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Yeah.
what do you want to talk about?
I thought this was kind of funny actually. So the Crow, the producer for the new version of The Crow, is surprised that the original filmmakers are not proud of the new movie.
Duh.
And I don't know why they think this, but I know Alex Proyas who directed it was saying, no, Brandon Lee died making it. This is all that should have been made. But he's like, this is his legacy.
Right. It should have stood
Stop,
as a memorial to
Leave it
him.
alone. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. There's like, they should be I'm surprised the original filmmakers should be more proud. I'm like, no, this is because they realize this is just a dumb cash grab. The writer of the thing, he said that we didn't want to go the same route as the original film, so that's why this one goes on its own way. And I was like, yeah, but you're adapting a comic, and you're not actually following said comic. You're just making your own crap up to, again, cash grab.
We're winging
So-
it. Oh my
I
gosh.
pass.
Yeah, I don't know.
I am unprepared. Sean, go again.
Okay. The other thing that I had teased that we were going to mention was that there is there's a game coming out that
Yes.
is based on Indiana Jones. It's pretty interesting in that they're using Harrison Ford's likeness, like the closest they've ever gotten to him. The quality of the graphics is amazing. The story sounds really fun. It's called Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Who's
And-
voicing Indiana Jones?
It's a guy who I don't think he's really done Indiana Jones before. It's not like he's known for it. It's a European development studio. And so, but they are so excited to be working on this property that they're just really trying to nail everything about it. And so they finally announced when this game is coming out, which is December 9th, 2024. And if you have, reasonably recent computer, decent tech in there, this is going to be amazing. And it's doing an interesting thing in this game, which is when you are in the middle of doing something amazing, it will pull back out of your first person point of view and show you the third person point of view in a cinematic thing that makes it super cool. So I've been excited for this game for a while. Of course, Indiana Jones, big surprise there. But it's it looks like it's going to be a lot of like the best Indiana Jones game they've put out so far. It really does look to be like as accurate as they can make it, and that's what they keep talking about at these game conferences. And I'm running
it looks pretty decent.
I'm running the video behind us as we talk, and it really just looks good. So we'll have to see. Looking at
Troy Baker.
Right, Troy Baker is doing it, and I feel like
he does everything.
I feel like I just worked with him.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah,
I think, from the whatever voices you hear of him talking, he does a pretty good job.
He's good, and actually, so in person, so I just worked on a game with him. He's in Arkham Shadow, which has been announced, released. There's a trailer out there, and we are, or they are getting ready to put it out there.
Okay.
And so he was doing voices there, and he's done so much of this that he's kind of like got 400 titles under his belt, and he's not that old, but he's the old man on set because he's like so experienced, and he's fun to work with because he just like comes out and he's cracking jokes all the time and he's goofing off and stuff. And what was really funny, I asked him about a pouch he had with his name embroidered on it. And he said, somebody just made this for me because I needed to carry some of my stuff while doing motion capture. And the bonus was that they did it in the Indiana Jones script. He didn't ask him to do it. They didn't know he was doing Indiana Jones. They just did it in the big sweeping Indiana Jones script and embroidered his name on the pouch. And he was like just in love with it when they gave it to him. And he's like, nice. You guys don't even know how appropriate this is. This is like so cool. So it was really fun. And all of his voices are really good. And what's really funny, he didn't do Batman on our project, but he's done Batman elsewhere. There's like a group of like 6 or 7 people who do Batman, and they don't stick with one guy, which I find to be really strange.
Yeah.
I was talking with somebody about it yesterday, but he's in Diablo 4 and The Last of Us and all of these great games. So, yeah, and he sounds good in this.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Do they have it in a version that you can play, or are you going to have to buy a whole new game system to play it?
Well, I mean, it says Xbox, but I'm pretty certain that it's going to be put out for PC. I can't imagine they would not do that. It's under the Lucasfilm Games heading, and I'm looking at the page right now, but it's not listing the systems, which is a bummer. Let me look here really quick. Windows, Xbox, PlayStation 5. So 9th December is when it comes out for Xbox X and S, and for Windows. PlayStation 5 is sometime in first or second quarter of 2025. So if you
Xbox, you can have it for Christmas.
You get it early. Yeah, exactly so.
Yeah, everybody else.
PlayStation, you got to wait. But that said, PlayStation, you just might be able to get it in VR depending on how they put this thing together, which would be freaking amazing.
Yeah, true.
So, we'll see.
There is a new John Williams documentary called Music by John Williams that is going to premiere at the AFI Fest on October 23rd. It runs through October 27th at the Chinese Theater. And I believe it will be on Disney Plus after that. So, looks interesting. Life of John Williams.
Well, I mean, and I'm looking forward to hearing like some of the personal stuff of his life, because we know what John Williams' career is. We know that it's stretched so long. We know that he's like the second most Oscar-nominated person in history. There's like all this stuff that's like public knowledge. I want to know more about his life. Like, how did he get started? Where did he study? You know, what got him into writing TV themes and stuff? What made him decide to go and write the big movie stuff that he was doing? Because he was a jazz guy. He wasn't a orchestral guy.
And the list of people who are in interviews on this are all the people that you would expect. Steven Spielberg, Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall, Kate Capshaw, Gustavo Dudamel.
Nice.
J.J. Abrams, Chris Martin, Ron Howard, Chris Columbus, George Lucas, Itzhak Perlman. It just, the list is that I didn't even get halfway through it.
Well, and I hope that they talk to David Newman, who's the guy who always does the John Williams at the Bowl nights here at the Hollywood Bowl. And David Newman knows John Williams as Uncle John because he was friends with his dad, who was Alfred Newman, who wrote the 20th Century Fox Fanfare and a whole bunch of movie music. Like, he was old school movie score things, and he was friends with John and maybe mentored to him. And then, like, all of the Newman kids, like Thomas Newman and David Newman and people like that who went on to write movie scores too, you'll know David Newman mostly from Galaxy Quest, I think, from the scores that he's done. He is like John Williams was Uncle John. I mean, that's crazy. And I really hope they talk to him and find out what that dynamic was.
Yeah.
There's so much they could cover here from a long career, because he's, what, 93?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It'll be in limited theatrical release and then be on Disney Plus in November.
That's cool. I might be convinced to go see this in a theater for the sound.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Jeff, you have a quick one before Sean wraps us out?
Other than the thing about the sound, and then my dogs just started barking.
Oh.
So funny. Robert Downey Jr. Talked a little bit about with Hollywood Reporter about coming back to the MCU, and it's interesting, but he doesn't. It's basically just saying, like, you know, how would we come back? How would we come back and not, you know, disappoint people and, you know, beat their expectations and whatever? And how would we do Victor Von Doom and whatnot? And they wanted to get Victor Von Doom right, and, you know, such. And another article, which I don't know why it's not on this one, because this article came out after the old one. He talks about that it's not going to be a version of Tony Stark as Doctor Doom, like, so
he's legitimately
really
playing Victor Von Doom. Okay.
I think it's yeah. So that's what he's saying. But I mean, that was in another thing, and it could have been just the way they interpreted what he said. It's just not even in here. I don't know why. Anyway, there you go. As useless information that was.
Well, and all Robert Downey needed to do was, like, walk into any meeting he wanted to and said, "I'd like to come back," and I'm sure everybody went, "Okay."
Yeah. What was like his wife Susan and Kevin Feige, I guess, were sitting down talking, and then they said, "Well, you know, it keeps occurring to us, like, if you were to come back," and Susan's like, "Wait, come back as what?" And like, and it goes good one from that. It's like, you know, because Tony's dead. So yeah,
that's really funny. All right, I think that's about it for us. I'm not sure if I'm ready for Robert Downey Jr. to come back as another character yet in Marvel, but well,
I know it's gonna be
see.
weird.
We owe a giant debt of gratitude. I can get my consonants in the right spot. To Boba-Kit, who's been doing all our links and does our show document during the week. We're very, very grateful to her for doing that, because it's a load of work. And all the stuff on the DB94 page that you guys laugh at all week long, that's her too. So big thanks to her.
We're going to have to get our button that says Datitude.
Right? Datitude. That's what it's computer stuff. We're thankful for computer stuff. Datitude. And to you guys for listening, everybody over on the chat, thank you for hanging out with us, especially for the whole 2 hours. You guys are crazy. We'll be back again next week to do this all over again, of course. I'll be on tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Good Morning Tatooine. You can tune into sci-fi.radio for that show. That is Pacific, so it's 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, or wherever you happen to be. Go check out our sci-fi.radio page for our schedule. Beyond that, gosh, have a great week, and thanks for hanging out.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
This is just Donoho.
I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby. As always,
May the
may
Force,
the Force
be with
you.
Be with you.
Let's see. I'll get some credits over here. Bye, video people. We'll see you later.